of a nation that honors family, that rebuilds its culture, that loves life, that honors God, built on faith and family and freedom. Those are the basics.
That's good.
They're full of shit.
It is a war. A silent war, but it is a war against religious liberty. This war is waged in our courts and in the halls of political power. It is pursued with grim and relentless determination by a group of like-minded elites, determined to transform the country from a land sustained by faith into a land where faith is silenced, privatized, and circumscribed. It's time to light the spark that starts the spiritual revival that will put these United States of America back on the right path.
Our moral obligation is that to us personally. We don't have an obligation for wealth redistribution in this country. It is not our job to take from some Americans and give to others. Our moral obligation, again, is on a personal level. We're challenged by Jesus to look after people as individuals, not as a government.
Women I know are outraged that the Democrats think that women are nothing more than helpless and hopeless creatures whose only goal in life is to have the government provide for them birth control medication. Women I know are smart, educated, intelligent, capable of doing anything that anyone else can do. Our party stands for the recognition of the equality of women and the capacity of women. Horse apples. That's not a war on them, it's a war for them. And if the Democrats want to insult the women of America by making them believe that they are helpless without Uncle Sugar coming in and providing for them a prescription each month for birth control because they cannot control their libido. I have opponents in this race who do not want to change the Constitution. But I believe it's a lot easier to change the Constitution than it would be to change the Word of the living God. And that's what we need to do, is to amend the Constitution so it's in God's standards rather than try to change God's standards so it lines up with some contemporary view of how we treat each other and how we treat the family. Horse apples.
Now, unlike Islam, where the higher law and the civil law are the same, in our case, we have civil laws, but our civil laws have to comport with the higher law.
That's Marxism talk.
Our civil laws have to, and that's why the issue of abortion, as long as abortion is legal, at least according to the Supreme Court, legal in this country, we will never have rest, because that law does not comport with God's law, which says that all life has value. All life is created by, I knew you in the womb.
It's bull. Preserving Texas as the land of liberty and freedom against Obama and his allies as they attempt to turn Texas blue. As your next governor, I'll safeguard Texas values. I'll keep government small, taxes low, and regulations reasonable. I'll protect your Second Amendment rights. This campaign is going to present Texans with real, clear choices. We won't allow Texas to be taken over by California-style government.
And yet only one lawgiver has the distinction of not having a silhouette, but having the full face be revealed by the artist. Moses is directly above the double doors that lead into the centermost part of this chamber. And in the face of Moses, his eyes look straight upon not only our nation's motto, "In God we trust," but Moses' face looks full on into the face of the Speaker of the House.
That's what I do all day.
But God's word is true. I've come to understand that. All that stuff I was taught about evolution and embryology and Big Bang Theory, all that is lies straight from the pit of hell. And it's lies to try to keep me and all the folks who are taught that from understanding that they need a Savior.
And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. The earth will end only when God declares it's time to be over.
They are crazy. They are stone cold fuck nuts.
You know, this notion of separation between church and state, you won't find those words in the Constitution. That doesn't mean that we should have an officially sanctioned denomination. The words there are supposed to be to ensure that there's not a hostility between the church and states.
Horse apples.
If we stand before God and he says, why did you vote for a leader who's attempting to redefine my institution of marriage and who kills the unborn children that I knew before they were in the womb? If he asks us that, and our answer is, because that leader was good on jobs and the economy, he's not going to accept that.
It's bull.
Running for the presidency is not an IQ test.
Some people are really fucking stupid.
Some supporters of Hillary Clinton circulated an email asking him to release it. I don't recall Senator Clinton or President Clinton ever asking him.
I heard everybody wanted to see it, and I was the only one that got him to do it, and nobody understands why he didn't do it sooner, and he should have, because it would have been good for the country. And it's also good for me, and I mean, I've been given great credit for having him do something that he should have done and should have done a long time ago.
Our top political priority over the next 2 years should be to deny President Obama a second term. First of all, the President of the United States is treating our Constitution worse than a placemat at Denny's. It's just about power for these people. They'll actually do anything to keep it. Advocating for the IRS to actually step up its game, to make it even harder for conservatives to exercise their First Amendment rights. It's an outrage. And let me tell you something, we're going to fight this thing with everything we've got.
And I'll tell you, when you think it can't get any worse, it does. This year, I'm sorry to tell you, the United States Senate is going to be voting on a constitutional amendment to repeal the First Amendment.
There's no reason to panic. Now, it is true that one of the crew members is ill. Slightly ill.
I am telling you, I am not making this up.
I guarantee it. Would I lie?
You know, it doesn't surprise me that sales of the Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged have surged lately with the Obama administration coming in. Because it's that kind of thinking, that kind of writing that is sorely needed right now. And I think a lot of people would observe that we are right now living in an Ayn Rand novel, metaphorically speaking. But more to the point is this. The issue that is under assault, the attack on democratic capitalism, on individualism and freedom in America, is an attack on the moral foundation of America. And Ayn Rand, more than anyone else, did a fantastic job of explaining the morality of capitalism, the morality of individualism. And this, to me, is what matters most. It is not enough to say that President Obama's taxes are too big or the health care plan doesn't work for this or that policy reason. It is the morality of what is occurring right now and how it offends the morality of individuals working toward their own free will to produce, to achieve, to succeed, that is under attack. And it is that what I think Ayn Rand would be commenting on, which we need that kind of comment more and more than ever.
Any chance we'll ever get to be a completely red state and work on these unions?
Oh, yeah.
And become a right to work?
Well, in fact, the big thing...
What can we do to help you?
Well, we're going to start in a couple weeks with our budget adjustment bill. The first step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions.
Right.
Because you divide and conquer.
There are 47% of the people who will vote for the president no matter what. All right, there are 47% who are with him, who are dependent upon government, who believe that they are victims, who believe that government has a responsibility to care for them, who believe that they're entitled to health care, to food, to housing, to you name it. But it's an entitlement, and the government should give it to them. And they will vote for this president no matter what.
You know what? And you know what? Let me tell you this. You know what? It's people who raise their voices and yell and scream like you that are dividing this country. We're here to bring this country together, not to divide.
You're not compensating me for my education, and you're not compensating me for my experience.
Well, you know what? Then you don't have to do it.
Good afternoon, I'm Diana Ickton. Today, the governor, known for speaking his mind, has a message for the NAACP.
Tell him to kiss my butt.
People ask, what should our strategy be on global jihadists and terrorists? I refer them to the movie Taken. Have you seen the movie Taken? Liam Neeson? He has a line, and this is what our strategy should be. We will look for you, we will find you, and we will kill you.
My answer is bring them on.
He doesn't believe we ought to be involved in that part of the world. I think it's absolutely essential. One of the things I worried about 12 years ago and that I worry about today is that there will be another 9/11 attack, and that the next time it'll be with weapons far deadlier than airline tickets and box cutters.
There will be another 9/11 attack, and that the next time it'll be with weapons far deadlier than airline tickets and box cutters.
It's bull. But you know, one thing that Sun Tzu wrote about was no she hostum, know thine enemy. Now, who are we up against? And I want to define that enemy. They are liberals, they are progressives, they are Che Guevarians, they are Castroites, they're socialists, more enemies on this list, Gramsciites, ring anybody's bell? Trotskyites, Maoists, Stalinists, Leninists, Marxists. They're all our enemies. Who'd I leave out? I think I heard that. How about I go to Democratic Socialists?
Some people are really fucking stupid.